everyone, it's Emily here. I hope you're having a gorgeous day so far. Today is a dining room makeover reveal day, as well as sharing with you how I built my solid oak dining room table from scratch. I am so excited to share this project with you today. I saved me over $3,000 and I now have a family heirloom. I am so excited. I have a lot jam-packed in today's video, so sit back, relax. I hope you enjoy it. Everything can be found in the description box below that I'm sharing with you today, as always, and I hope you enjoy. So let's get to it. After the holidays were over, this has been the basic setup for the dining room, very blah and basic, but we got to build the table, and these are the table legs that I bought. They are absolutely stunning, and they match this table here that I saw online, and I'm going to show you how to make it. I went to the lumber yard and found beautiful oak boards. They sell them in different thicknesses, so I picked out these 6. The only thing is that I had to bring them home and straight edge them, which I've never done, so I had to watch a tutorial on how to do that. So I just put my guide board on, and then I used my table saw, rip down the one side, and then once that was done, I could take that guide board off, and then the table saw side was straight. So you'll definitely see how off it was here, but this took all day. This was a tedious job doing it for 6 boards and doing it by myself. After I got all the boards ripped down, I brought them inside and put them on my kitchen island because it's a nice flat surface, and I put my clamps down, and then I put my wood glue on and then brushed it onto the edging, and then I only did this for one side. They said doing 2 sides was overkill, so wasn't necessary, and then I would push those together and kind of slide them, squishing them together kind of like a sandwich. And I did that for the 2 sides, and then I clamped them down. Now I was using aluminum clamps here. They worked good for this first part, but they failed me later on, so I don't recommend these ones. Get yourself some good pipe clamps. You're gonna have to build those, but these were inexpensive, and I needed something that I could go up to 4 feet wide. And then I clamped down each of the edges of the boards and then put bracing over the top as well. And then I repeated the same thing on the floor, which was really uncomfortable, but I wanted to get these glued up because they take a good 24 hours to set with the glue. And this was just such a long day. It was tedious, but at the same time, it was really fun. It was just kind of like a puzzle piece, putting it all together. Just get yourself some good clamps. That's all I can say. After that, I went to the stain store and gave them a sample of what I wanted to look like, and they came really close. They showed different variations in it, but I still wasn't loving the way it was looking, so I decided let's go a bit darker. And so we were playing with stains. I was there for 2 hours. Did a fantastic job in getting me what I wanted. Then I came home and it was time to make dinner, and I want to say thank you to Home Chef for sponsoring this portion of today's video. I'm so excited to work with them, especially on busy weeks when I'm building and I don't have time to think about dinner and lunch and everything else. They have wonderful meal options from breakfast all the way to dessert. Their meals are easy, super convenient because everything gets delivered straight to your door, and you just put it in the fridge and cook it when you're ready. And maybe you don't like to cook the way I do, you just want to bake items. They have oven ready items, quick 15-minute meal options. Their meals are very flavorful and well balanced. Plus you can choose for your dietary preferences, whether you are carb conscious, vegetarian, meat lover. They have everything, and they rotate between 20 plus new menu items every week. Tonight I made the beef mozzarella dip sandwiches with fresh homemade fries, and it was so delicious. We absolutely devoured this meal, and it was amazing, and I can't wait to make it again, especially since you can save the recipe cards to do that. And in my opinion, it's a great way to try new recipes and better than takeout. If you guys have not tried Home Chef, you definitely need to. They were super kind and gave me a discount code. You can get 50% off your first box plus free shipping if you use code MOMMA50 at checkout. You can use the link in the description box below or here on the screen. It is so good. It's fast, easy, and convenient. It just makes life so much easier, especially when I'm working on a big project that's taking up my entire island. I can still cook a healthy meal for my family that we absolutely love. So definitely be sure to give them a try. I hope you guys love them as much as we do. So after each of the boards had dried for a good 24 hours, I then removed the clamps and took it to a planer. And this is something I don't own, so I paid somebody to do this, and it was well worth it. They also sanded it for me, which was so convenient and also nice because of how big it was. But you can see the difference between the top and the bottom board. So after they were planed and perfectly level, I put those back down on the floor to use it as my base for building the skirt of the table. So again, I'm just using wood glue and some pocket screws and screwing those into the actual legs. The legs are not attached to the tabletop yet, and this is where I'm getting my distance between the legs because I wanted to match that to obviously my tabletop. And then I am putting another support board here to the legs just to square it up instead of doing a triangle board here, or some of the woodworkers use other items that I don't have access to. So I did this because this is what I saw, and there's multiple ways you can do this, but this is what worked for me. And then I put 3 more supports down the middle of the skirting of the table. That way it could fully support the table itself, because it was quite heavy. Oak is not a lightweight board at all, but I'm using my speed square here just to make sure everything is squared up. And now I'm going to actually join the 2 boards together. Now this is where I made a really big mistake. So I wouldn't say it's a huge mistake, but I had to redo it. So I applied my wood glue, and I thought that there was a little bit of a gap in the middle, and I thought, oh, I'll just squeeze that together with my clamps. Well, these clamps were not strong enough at all. So even after using the pocket holes and then glue, it did not work. So I had to take those all out, then cut down the middle and get it squared again, because for some reason those boards were off. I don't know why. And then I got pipe clamps and clamped that together, and it was perfect. I should have used pipe clamps from the beginning, but I didn't have them, and I was able to borrow these, which was really nice. And so after that dried for another 24 hours, this is a 3-day process that I'm on right now just for doing the skirt and this part of the table. I'm sanding down the back side of the table. Now I need to cut my edge straight. This gave me some problems. For some reason my saw did not want to cut properly, so I took off about an extra inch than I wanted to, but that's okay. Now I am going to be staining it, and I wanted to go really dark here, and I'm using like a lamb wool or something for this, and it applied so nicely. I will never use a rag again on a flat surface. This was so easy and convenient. But when I started staining this, it was just turning out way darker than I wanted, even though I thought I wanted dark. I decided to do the skirting and the legs, and at the stain store they told me to use this clear coat first and then do 4 parts to 1 part stain. Well, I did 3 parts of the clear to 1 part stain for the second coat and the third coat, and I really ended up liking the color of it, especially doing the legs. I was like, this is looking really good. And I took it back into the house to kind of see how it looked in the lighting, and I loved it. So I'm really glad I stained the bottom of the table dark, because I was able to sand it off, and then I could do this color staining on the top of the table. So it took a little bit of time to get this all together, and the reason why I did some of the clear coating with the stain is so that you can see on the skirting board some of the wood grain coming out. It was to keep that from coming out so pronounced, because oak has a lot of that, and I didn't want it to be super stripy and tiger stripe. If you follow me on Instagram, you know what I'm talking about. I shared that on there. And so I'm really happy with this process. It took 3 different procedures to get it to this color, but I'm really happy with it. And this applicator was great because this was all water-based. I was able to wash it out and reuse it, and just go with the wood grain when you're staining. It turned out so good. I am so happy with this. And I did a light sanding in between got all the dust off, and then this is my final one, which looks dark, but I promise you it's not, because again, it's 3 parts clear, 1 part stain, and it just came out so beautiful. But with this, I had to wait a few hours in between coats, which wasn't bad. I was pretty happy about that. But for the clear coat, the top coat itself, I actually got a hardener here on the left, and you mix part of that with the clear coat, and it just makes it really hard on top. And I'm really glad I did 2 coats of this. That's all I ended up having, and I probably could have done 3 or 4, but it's already has a lot of clear coat in it, so I think it'll be fine. But I brushed it on, and then I used this sort of a sponge, but it's not a sponge, to get nice long strokes out of it so that I wouldn't have any like brush strokes, and it dried beautifully. I used a 320 grit sandpaper in between the top coats. And then it needs a good 24 hours to cure and dry, but I gave it a good 48 because I did not want to mess up my beautiful finish on my table. So now comes the fun part where we get to decorate and everything. Thank you for sticking with me through that table build. I hope it's informative for you and gives you the courage to try something new. That's what I want you to do, is be inspired to try something that you have never done before, because the end result is just amazing. Yes, there are some trials in it and you learn a lot, but that's part of the process, is seeing everything that you're capable of, and it's more than you think. I can promise you that. And now we can finally decorate the space, which is my favorite part because it's going to bring it all together, and finally my vision is coming to life. I'm going to hang some curtains, and let me tell you, this was so annoying. I've hung a lot of curtains, and this was just irritating because the drill fell off the ladder, gouging the floor, and then I put 2 unnecessary holes in the wall because I changed my mind where I was putting the supports, and it just didn't go as smoothly as it normally does, but that's okay. That's life, right? Now the curtains I chose are customizable to anything that you want. Length, width, pinch pleating, lined, trained. They do it all and more. And I really like that about the company because you get a really custom curtain, but it's way less than the designer ones. And I went with the color Burlwood Birch, and it's definitely challenging myself to use a darker color in the space. But at first I thought, oh no, is this gonna look right? And it looked so good on the walls. I was a little bit worried because I changed the color of my table from really dark to lighter, and so I wasn't sure how it was gonna go together, but you'll see it comes together so nicely, and these are so good. I got it a double pleat on mine. They're lined, they're not trained, and you can see just how beautifully they lay. I ordered 102 inch in length, and I hung my curtain rod support at 104, and with the little notch on the back, you can adjust it up and down in case you need to, but that's 3 little notches down, and they sit right above the floor, which is what I like, just kind of skirt in the floor. And I did 4 of them. I got 2 wider panels for the bigger window and then 2 skinnier panels for the smaller one, and it just changes the space so much with the curtains. I love it. Right now it is sunny, but it's also snowing outside. Spring is eventually going to come, but I decided to order a rug for the dining room. I've never had a rug in a dining room because the kids have always been so small and messy that it's just never worked out, but we're at a different stage in life now, and I feel like we can give it a whirl. So I saw this one and I thought this is going to be so pretty, and it is really soft, and I'm debating whether I want to put it in the dining room or I want to put it somewhere else, but there's no pile on it, so it should be easy to clean if we do spill something, and if we do, it has a lot of colors in it, so where you probably wouldn't even notice it was there. So let me show you. Now it is time for the dining room table reveal. I will say it was definitely a journey learning how to build this table. It took a lot longer than I thought it would just because of all the drying process and things like that, but it was so worth it. And it's something that we can have forever, and I can even pass it down because it's solid wood. And if for some reason I ever change my mind on the stain, or the kids have it and they change their mind, they can sand it down and refinish it. It is going to be a family heirloom, and I'm so happy about it. It is so beautiful. Again, it turned out way better than I imagined, and the table legs are stunning. This table online, and it was over $4,000 for the same size, and I just could not bring myself to pay that. And I was like, I know I can build this. It's just gonna be a little bit of a challenge, and I did, and it was right around $1,100 to build it, and I could not be happier. I saved myself a good $3,000, and now I know I can make a table, and now I want to make a coffee table next. The color of the drapes pairs so nicely with everything. I was a little bit worried when I saw the color of the drapes with the table. I thought, oh no, it's going to blend too much, but it doesn't. It has just enough contrast. It's still light in here, and that's exactly what I wanted. Now I want to add something to the corner, and I have that olive tree that I shared with you about a month or so ago, and I love it, but I want a bigger pot for it. And so I decided to pop in to the store, and I found some amazing outdoor pots. And so I like the fact that I can actually use it outside or leave it inside. Let me show it to you. It's beautiful. It's huge. It is heavy too. And I thought this would look so cool in the dining room. So that's what we're gonna put. A little bit of greenery goes a long way, and I love the way that looks. Now for the dining room chairs, I ordered 2 different types. One decided to come, the other one is not coming yet. They like delayed the shipping on it, and so I was like, okay. I really wanted something that had a little bit of curve to it, but they are really expensive. And so I was like, okay, what are we gonna do? Because I really wanted upholstery. Upholstery is not that great for young ones. So I'm actually gonna still use my black faux leather ones because they've held up great, and they wipe easily, and they're just good. And I think a little bit of black in here will still be good. But again, it's kind of personal preference. I would say I would do all upholstered ones, and it'd be really formal and gorgeous, but we're gonna mix it, and hopefully we like the way that looks. Sometimes when you shop online, you don't know exactly what you're going to be getting for the color, the comfort level. Let me tell you, these are a 10 out of 10. I could not be happier. They swivel so easily. They are firm but really comfortable. They hit just the right spot on the back. I am so happy with this purchase. They have a beautiful curve to them, and I love the color of the fabric because it's not white. It's like a nice taupey color, and it will hide stains. I do need to Scotch guard them on a warm day, but I'm so happy with these. I actually want to switch out all the chairs now and just use those. Here's a little reminder of the before of the dining room, and here is the after. I am so happy with the dining room makeover. I hope you all enjoyed coming along for this dining room makeover reveal. I absolutely love the way it turned out. I could not be happier with the space, and it's another space checked off the list, and I'm so happy. I know there is no dining room light. I know you probably noticed that, and I don't plan on putting one for now. I like the view out the window, and there's a lot of natural light through the windows, so we really don't need it, and I like it without it. So why add one, you know? But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know what you think of the dining room and everything. But remember, everything I share in today's video will be linked in the description box below, as well as my code for Home Chef to save 50% off your first order plus free shipping. Take advantage of that. It makes life so much easier. And hit that subscribe button because I have a lot more makeovers coming up that you're not going to want to miss. And be sure to share it. It really helps out my channel. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you again for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.